Aloha and welcome to the Spirit of Sports, brought to you by notpods.com. Welcome again. This is Richie coming to you live, maybe streaming from the middle of the Pacific Ocean. Somewhere, if you know, you know. Just trying to make a better life for myself. I'm a huge sports fan. If you don't know the story, I will go through it before every broadcast. I've started notpods.com, which is I'm actually starting on Not Pods on my YouTube. So if you go to YouTube, Not Pods is my channel. And this is Not Pods because this is not a podcast. This will be live internet radio, possibly streaming back episodes, possibly not. But this is a fledgling network. I am just trying to get some traction, get some subscribers. And one day, when I'm big enough, I will be asking for a mere 51 cents a month from everybody. If I can get a small percentage of the world to agree to 51 cents a month, it could be life-changing for me. I have a 6.5-year-old daughter. Actually, first day of school today. This is Monday, August 7th. And this is a sports station, a sports show, the Spirit of Sports. That is my flagship show, but I'm pretty much strictly football for now. When baseball, if there's news in baseball or maybe NBA free agency, I will throw some in there. Come baseball playoffs for sure, down the stretch run, but football is my passion. I love fantasy. I won't go into a whole lot of fantasy, but I love the NFL. I love my Oregon State Beavers. Really like college football. I used to love it a lot more. The whole realignment thing, that's a whole different show. My Pac-12 it's sad. They brought it on themselves, though. They've been lagging for a decade plus of marketing and TV rights. I don't blame chasing the money. As my friend Ronnie Vaca heard, Father Time is undefeated. Well, money is also undefeated in sports, probably in life as well. So my next 8 days, I took the weekend off. I'm gonna do one live show every day. I did take the weekend off, had a big golf tournament. Remember Sandy over here? So it was a fundraiser and had the kid all weekend. So just decided to take some time off, but I'm back. And I'm going to tell you, every waking moment that I have that I'm not working or with the kid, and even sometimes with the kid, I will be gathering information, watching Sports Center, watching my sports talk shows, taking notes and putting together shows so I can give a quality product at notpods.com. Coming soon on the website, but definitely I'm up and running, and you can check out past episodes on my YouTube channel, Not Pods. So I got to stop saying so. The plan is Monday, August 7th. We are exactly 30 days, 11 hours, 55 minutes, and 35 seconds and counting until the Thursday night kickoff. It's just 30 days. Can you believe? Till week 1, Detroit at KC. And for the next 8 days, I'm going to take however long it's needed, and I'm going to go through each division of the NFL. We're going to talk about the over-unders on each team, strength of schedule, the O-line and the defensive rankings, biggest question marks, and then my predictions. And we're talking 30 days until Detroit at Kansas City. So I'm going to go north, south, east, west. So today, Monday, August 7th, we're going to go NFC North. Shaping up to be could be a pretty crazy year. The whole NFL. Every team but maybe two. I think there's two teams that are for sure should be really good. And maybe only one or two teams that for sure should be pretty bad. But I'm not sure I've ever had this many question marks and this much doubt about knowing what each and every team is going to do. There are so many question marks, so many free agents, so many big rookies. Will they perform? Holdouts, signees, new contracts. So let's start with the NFC North on this Monday, August 7th. 30 days until kickoff. So NFC North, of course, consists of the Detroit Lions, Minnesota Vikings, Green Bay Packers, and the Chicago Bears. What order they're going to finish? I have a small idea. It can change from day to day. Every report I get is different. And you hear, Jordan Love is looking great and Jordan Love can't complete shit. Shoot. So I think that my predictions, Lions win the North, followed by the Vikings, Bears in third. And I think the Packers it doesn't seem like Jordan Love quite has it. So let's start at the bottom. Green Bay Packers. Over-under wins 7.5 in Vegas. Strength of schedule. They have the 14th toughest schedule. Let's take a look. So middle of the road schedule. Not a great year last year. Huge game 1, Sunday morning game, afternoon game, 1 p.m. Eastern, is at Soldier Field at the Bears. Huge game to start for both of these NFC North teams. I just saw the stat. Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre, the last 30 years combined, are 24-6 at Chicago, including 3 playoff games. They've only lost 6 times in 30 years at Chicago, these Green Bay Packers. Biggest question marks. O-line, almost always solid. The number one question mark, of course, Jordan Love. 3 years on the bench. You haven't heard a peep from him. 2 years ago, preseason looked pretty terrible. Didn't really know what's going on. He did get in, a game and a half last year and actually put up some decent numbers. I think that if the Pack goes solid run, that they're going to have top 5 defense, looks like. 19th ranked defense. I think that should be a lot better than that. 8th ranked offensive line. Never been an issue. They draft well and they coach them up real well on the O-line. So I don't worry too much about the O-line. I think the defense will be quite a bit better than that. Biggest question mark, hands down, Jordan Love. 3 years behind Rodgers. Maybe not the best attitude, Aaron. But he has admitted that he felt like it was his job to mentor his replacement. He wasn't happy when they drafted him. They moved up in the draft to pick the guy that led NCAA football in 2019 in interceptions. That was kind of a head scratcher, but they saw something. They like about him. So number one, and probably really the only question mark, they got the decent weapons. They got the rookie tight end, Musgrave, out of Oregon State, my Beaver, looking good. double combo at running back with Dillon and Jones. You know, Watson and Dobbs, a couple rookies. So I don't worry about their offensive weapons. I think the biggest and maybe one of the biggest question marks in the whole NFL, Jordan Love. How will he fare? Let's just look down the schedule. At Chicago, flip a coin for me. Atlanta could be better. Winnable versus New Orleans. Decent schedule. At home against Detroit. At the Raiders. And then a bye. Let's say they pull out, could start out 3-2, 2-3, somewhere in there. Have their bye week. Then we go at Denver. Who knows? Another huge, one of the biggest question marks in the NFL, the whole Denver team. Minnesota, Rams, Pittsburgh, Chargers, Detroit, KC. That's a tough gauntlet right there. They're looking 3-5, 2-6 right in the face. Finish with at the Giants, home against Tampa. Tampa probably won't be good. Giants, another huge question mark. At Carolina, rookie QB. And finish bookend games with Chicago. And that Saturday, January 6th game at home against Chicago could have huge playoffs. So, yeah, if I had to say 0-1, 1-1, 2-1, 2-2, 2-3, 2-4, 2-5, 3-5, 3-6, 3-7, 3-9, 4-9, 5-9, 6-9, 6-10. I'd have to go under, looking at the schedule. 7.5 on the pack. I'm going under. Just too big a question mark, and I haven't seen enough out of Jordan Love. So Richie says under on the pack. Let's go to my third place prediction. Chicago Bears. This is Monday, August 7th. This is Richie, the Spirit of Sports, brought to you by Not Pods. And over the next 8 days, I'm going to preview every NFL conference division. I'm going north, south, east, west. So today, on Monday, the 7th, this is my NFC North prediction. So I had the Packers in fourth with under 7.5 wins. Let's move on. My third place prediction, and it's a toss-up between the Vikings, but I'm going to go Bears. Also 7.5 over under in Vegas. Bears, another huge question mark. Two big question marks. Quarterback, 5-20. Great athlete. Can he improve his pocket game? Picked up, has plenty of weapons. You know, they look great. As far as talent goes on the offensive side, 31st ranked defense. So, their draft, I'm not really so much. This is more fantasy, and I only have so much time in the day. So 31st ranked defense is a huge red flag. 7.5 is the over-under in Vegas. They have the 6th easiest schedule, whereas the Vikings have the 25th easiest. Lions have the 11th. So they have by far the easiest schedule in the division. A quarterback that, for all intents and purposes and what we hear, is making leaps in the preseason, in camp. Picked up DJ Moore. Chase Claypool, if he has his head on right, he's a beast. Just, gotta get his head right. Got Mooney, Kmet, brought over Robert Tonyan. 21st ranked offensive line. So that's an issue. 6th strength of schedule. Let's check it out. 7.5 wins. So as I was just talking about Green Bay, as I said, the game number 1 at home against the Pack that has owned you, Aaron Rodgers. I own you. I own you. 24-6 and 24 in the last 30 years at home. Lost 24 or 30 games at home against Green Bay. This is the thorn in your side. Can you relinquish the king? Or can you relinquish control? Huge start to the season. I say it's a toss-up. What's Vegas? Vegas has it Chicago 2.5-point favorite. If I was a game-by-game guy, I'd probably take the points. Until you prove me different, Chicago. I'd have to take a coin toss, slight favorite, Pack. Khalil Herbert, stud. I think get the running game going a little bit. Let's look at the schedule. It's all Justin Fields. Somerset, in Chicago, MVP possibility. Or is he a flop and you have to draft another QB? If he doesn't get up from 55, 56% completion percentage, it's going to be issues. Can run all day. You got to throw from the pocket to win games. So, biggest question mark to keep an eye on that and the defense. 31st, second to worst ranked defense coming into the season. So let's check the schedule. Bye week, week 13. I like a bye week later in the year for me. So we go Green Bay at Tampa, at KC, Denver, at Washington. Let's go like third by third. Maybe it's 0-1. Tampa should be a win. 1-2. Denver coin toss. Washington should not be great. And Minnesota. So you're looking 2-4, 3-3, maybe 4-2. I don't see beating KC. And Minnesota is going to be tough division. So let's say you're 3-3 through 6. Then you got home Vegas, at the Chargers, at New Orleans, home Carolina, at Detroit, at Minnesota. I don't like Vegas this year, as you all know. Or if you don't know, I was a huge Raider fan. In the 70s and 80s when they were winning Super Bowls, it was life and death. When they moved to LA the first time, and I grew up in Oregon, small town on the coast, Tillamook, cheese. But I had family in Cali, and I was a huge Raider fan. And the move didn't affect me so much, but it just really broke my heart for the Raider fans. So they move once, move back. Mark Davis takes over, run him into the ground. Top 3 worst owners in the whole NFL. But when they moved to Vegas 2 years ago, I said, you know what? F them. I'm done. I hate them. I root against them now. Can't stand them. And all the heartbreak and just, it got to the point where I loved them and it was life and death. And then 10 years later, it's, I'll watch, but I'm not going to really invest too much in them, to the point of I don't give a crap if they win or lose, to the point of now I can't stand them. So let's say Bears are looking 3-3, 4-2 at the best. Let's go to the second third of the year, the middle third. Home Vegas win, at Chargers loss, at New Orleans coin flip. Versus Carolina should be win, but you never know. Rookie QB. At Detroit, at Minnesota, maybe split. So say you're 4-3, 4-4, 5-4, 6-4. You're looking 7-5 possibly. 7-5. 6-6, could be 4-8. I think a worst case scenario is 4-8, 5-7. Best case scenario through 12 games, 8-4, maybe even 9-3. Let's go to the bottom third of the schedule. So let's call them 7-5, even if they're 6-6. Home against Detroit, toss up. At Cleveland, toss up. Arizona win. Atlanta should be win. And then the bookends at Green Bay. Let's say you're 6-6, 6-7, 7. I think they win 8 games. I'm going to go over 7.5. 8 games I see right here. one of the Packer games, Tampa, Washington, one of the Minnesota, Vegas, Saints, Carolina, one Detroit game, and Arizona and Atlanta. 8-9 wins. Definitely going over. You know, that's what he said. One of my original shows that I'll be doing over the course of the season, I will put myself in there too. I love the Cowherd show. I love the herd. Every Monday he does where Colin was right, where Colin was wrong, and it's beautiful. And I will hold myself to the same standards that I'm going to hold all of you. Richie's coming at you guys, so better get your stuff straight. Onward, Monday, August 7th. This is my NFL preview 8 days. Next 8 days is going to be a preview of each division in the NFL. I'm going north, south, east, and west. This is Monday, day 1. I am on the NFC North. So I have these 3 are a toss-up. I really like the Lions to win the division. But second, third, and fourth, I have Packers under 7.5 wins, probably 6 or 7. Second place, I have the Bears, 8 to 9 wins. You know, they could be 10. Or third place. Second place, let's go on to the Vikings. Minnesota Vikings, question marks. Biggest question mark, running back, Dalvin Cook. Just let him go. I know the whole thing, running backs don't have a market. Can't even trade one for a 5th-round pick. Don't want to pay him. It's kind of crazy to me that you're just, you know, you're just dropping a guy for nothing that's top 5 back in the league and still is, and nobody's even signed him yet. But that's a whole different story. I'm sure we'll talk. You know, my goal is never have to wear shoes, never have to be at work at a certain time, and I will talk live for hours on end. Coming up right around the start of football season, I will have my talkathon where that will be my fundraiser to get my 51 cents a month is all I'm going to ask. But I will talk for 12 hours straight, maybe a couple times. So let's go back. Biggest question mark with the Vikings for me. Running back, Alexander Madison. See the man. I think can be the man. And not much, you know, they don't really have a backup plan. It's really, I mean, that guy has proven himself. He has. But when your backups, Ty Chandler, Ngongwe, and Dwayne McBride. And that's your depth chart at running back. I don't know. Ngongwu. I'm sorry. Don't even know these guys. And I do my homework. Kene Ngongwu. He had a decent year last year. No, he didn't. 9 rushes for 14 yards. That's your backup. Ty Chandler. 6 rushes for 20 yards. So to me, that's a huge question mark. Maybe Alexander Madison, maybe he's a fantasy guy, but I really don't like that. I don't think there's a free agent move. So, question mark. So, I got to stop saying so. Question mark. Big question mark. Running back room. Vikings strength of schedule. 25th. So, they are 8th toughest schedule in the league. 8th toughest schedule in the league. Over under in Vegas, 8.5 wins with a 26th ranked defense, which was 33rd last year out of 32. How atrocious was their defense, especially in that Giants playoff loss. 15th ranked O-line, so middle of the pack. Cousins, he gets rid of the ball quick. I really don't worry about Kirk Cousins. He's solid. Just the running back. And of course, great at receiver, JJ. Jordan Addison, the rookie, if he can, go drive 55. KJ Osborne, Jalen Rago over from the Eagles, which I always thought he had high upside. So stop. This is a work in progress. Catching my mistakes. I know nobody's really listening right now anyway, so. Nobody's listening right now anyway. Let's go through the schedule. Minnesota Vikings, over and under 8.5. I have them second in the division. 8.5. Let's check it out. First third, top of the schedule. First 6 games. Versus Tampa, at Philly, versus Chargers, at Carolina, versus KC, at Chicago. That feels like 3-3 staring you right in the face. Tampa, I don't know if Tampa wins but 2-3 games. I don't like them. Baker, don't like Baker. Kyle Trask, unproven. Maybe, does Baker turn around his career? Just arrogant, doesn't take responsibility. So Tampa should be not good. At Philly, they're really good. Chargers, I'd go 55% Chargers, looking at 1-2. At Carolina, should be a win, 2-2. KC's not going undefeated, but I'll probably pick them in about every game. Looking at 2-3. At Chicago. Game 6 at Chicago could be a turning point of the season. You might be 2-3. You're looking 2-3, 1-4 in the face, Vikings. You're at Chicago. What are they going to be? What if you're both 2-3? Division game and your season basically riding. Circle the calendar. Sunday, October 5th, 7 a.m. Hawaiian game at Chicago. Pivotal game. Let me write some notes here. Bookends with Bears. Bear with me, folks. I'm doing this all myself. So week 6 at Bears could be pivotal for both teams. So we're looking at 1-2, 2-2, 3-3. Let's go to the middle. Week 13 bye. Once again, I like that. So let's go middle third of the season. 3-4, 4-3 right now. 3-3. Let's say you're 3-3. Versus San Fran, at Green Bay, at Atlanta, versus New Orleans, at Denver, versus Chicago. Fairly manageable middle of the schedule. I'm going to take a loss on the road at San Fran. You're going to split Green Bay. Give them, so that's 4-4. At Atlanta should be a win. 5-4. New Orleans should 6-4. At Denver, we'll give it to Denver on that one. Let's say you're 7-5 now. Over and under, by the way, is 8.5. We're at 7 wins that I see. Vikings, last third of the schedule. At Vegas, at Cincy versus Detroit versus Green Bay, at Detroit. We're looking at 6 and 7 wins. So let's say Vegas, you're 7-7. At Cincy, 7-8. Detroit, Green Bay, Detroit, 8-9 or 9-8. I think you're staring directly at that. 8.5. Wow. I'm going to say toss up. I think they win 8.5 games. No bet. No bet on that. and the gauntlet down the stretch at Cincy, and then 3 division rivals in a row. Home for Detroit, home for Green Bay, at Detroit. Those last 3 games probably has a huge effect on who wins this division. Done with the Vikings. We're moving on to the final team, and my pick to win the NFC North on this August the 7th, 2023, Monday. This is part 1 of my 8 shows in a row, the previews of the NFL divisions. I'm going north, south, east, west. This is Monday, episode 1, NFC North, and I pick the Lions to win at 9.5, Vegas says. 11th on the strength of schedule, so a top third easiest schedule. 15th ranked defense. I think they help that out. 5th ranked offensive line if they stay healthy. Goff gets rid of the ball quick as well. Goff and Cousins, real similar, I think. Keep them on their feet, can make the throws. Great offensive coordinator that stayed. 9.5 wins. Really like their weapons. Brought over David Montgomery from the division rival Bears. Jahmyr Gibbs could be a super stud. Craig Reynolds there last year. Justin Jackson over from the Chargers. So Amon-Ra St. Brown ready to bust out into the next level. Got Reynolds, Marvin Jones Jr., Mims, Khalif Raymond. Sam Laporta, the rookie, looking really good. I don't worry about the Lions' weapons. A little concerned about their D. Strength of schedule right there. And, they got a coach that guys want to run through a wall for. Dan Campbell. 15th ranked D, 5th ranked offensive line. 9.5 wins, says Vegas. Let's see what says Richie. Let's go through the schedule. Top third. NFL kickoff, opening Thursday night, September 7th. 30 days, 11 hours, and 26 plus minutes away at KC. I'm going to do a Nick wrong. That guy, just everything he says. Just because you are convicted in what you say and you believe it doesn't mean you're right, Nick wrong. I might have a whole different deal on him. But let's just get their loss out of the way Thursday night, September 7th. Can't stand them. Just so sick of them. I won't tell you what I call Mahomes and Steph Curry. They're the same guy to me, and I'm over both of them. So let's go down the schedule. Top third. Detroit Lions, my pick to win the NFC North at 9.5 wins. Here we go. At KC, home against Seattle, home for Atlanta, at Green Bay, Carolina at home, at Tampa. First 6 games. You know what? I just want KC I don't want to hear it anymore about 20-0 from Nick Wrong. So let's go win versus Seattle at home. Give them a win. Let's say they start 3-0, at worst 2-1 versus Atlanta. At Green Bay. Could be pivotal for the Pack. Week 4 for the Pack, especially versus Lions. So they're 3-0 or 2-1 going to Green Bay. It's pivotal for the Lions. Let's say they're 4-1. Carolina, they're looking 5-1. Good chance at 5-1. Let's say at the worst 4-2. Bye in week 9, right in the middle of the second third of the season. So let's check that. Let's say they're 4-2. I'm going to give them 4-2 through 6. At Baltimore versus Raiders, at Chargers, home versus the Bears, home for Green Bay, at New Orleans. 4-2 at Baltimore. Let's rack up a loss. 4-3. Vegas 5-3. Chargers 5-4. Chicago split 6-4. Green Bay 7-4. New Orleans 8-4. So beginning of December, they're looking 7-5, 8-4. I would say 7-5 at worst. 9-3 possible. So we're at 8 wins. And the final stretch at Chicago gave them a win earlier, so we'll call them 8-6. Versus Denver, 9-6. Minnesota, at Dallas versus Minnesota. Tough stretch down. 9-6, 10. I'm gonna say 11-6, 10-7 at the worst. I'm going over 9.5. If I'm going to Vegas. So I think it's pretty solid. Let's sum it up. In the NFC North, I got the Lions to win the conference at 11-6. I got the Vikings 9-8 or 8-9, I believe. And I would toss up. I wouldn't touch the 8.5. We'll say 9-7. I got the Bears over 7.5. 8-9. And I got the Pack 6-11. So that'll do it. Pushing 40 minutes. So this will be my next 7 days. Going north, south, east, west. My NFL division previews. NFC South tomorrow. Talking biggest question marks. Vegas over-under, strength of schedule. O-line, D rankings, and then my predictions. So that's what we're looking at the next week or so. I'm going to go through the weekend this week, so I'll be on every day. Usually right around noon Hawaiian. You can figure that out and just, help me out. I'm putting in the effort. I'm putting every waking moment into the NFL and sports. And I've always been a huge sports fan. I'm trying to make a better life for me and my daughter, all my friends, if I can. Just getting some traction, as I always say. But I will be on the air every day from here forward. No days off. Took the weekend off, had a little extra time with the kid, had a big golf tournament, but I will make minimum 10 minutes every single day. And you can stream my past for now. Once I get the traction and once I start charging, there's a chance that it will be live internet radio only. That's why this is not pods.com. This is not a podcast. This is Richie signing out. And do I have a sponsor today? Let's see. I thought I had a sponsor today. Maybe not. That's okay. We'll get a sponsor next time. Okay. Love you guys. Thanks for your support. And I will be back tomorrow with the NFC South. Aloha.